Have you ever caught your reflection and felt like your hair just doesn't feel like you anymore? Maybe it's lost its bounce. Maybe it feels thinner than it used to. Or maybe, no matter what you try, it just falls flat. If you've felt that way lately, I want you to know something important. You are not alone. As we get older, our hair changes. That's completely natural. But here's the part nobody really tells us. The frustration isn't always about the hair itself. It's about how those changes make us feel. Less like ourselves, less confident, and sometimes even a little invisible. I've spent years working with women just like you, and I've seen how much a small shift in understanding can completely transform how you feel when you look in the mirror. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the most common mistakes women make with thinning or fine hair, and more importantly, how to fix them. You might be surprised how a few gentle changes can bring back that feeling of fullness, of softness, of you. And before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest hair challenge you've been dealing with lately? Drop it in the comments below. You're not alone in this, and your story might help someone else feel seen, too. Now let's get started. 1. Fine hair versus thin hair. Know the difference. One of the most common things I hear from women is, "My hair is getting so thin." But what I've learned over the years is that most people are actually using the wrong word without realizing it. You see, there's a difference between fine hair and thin hair, and knowing which one you actually have can make all the difference in the world. Let me explain it simply. Fine hair means each individual strand is small in diameter, very soft, delicate, almost like silk. Thin hair, on the other hand, means you have fewer strands overall. You could have fine hair that's actually quite dense, or you could have thick strands that are spaced far apart. That would be thin hair. They're two totally different things. Now, why does that matter? Because if you mistake one for the other, you'll end up using the wrong products, the wrong styling methods, even the wrong haircut. That leads to frustration. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because no one ever told you what kind of hair you actually have. Think of it like this. Your hair is like a bowl of spaghetti. The thickness of the noodles is your hair texture. That's fine or coarse. The number of noodles in the bowl, that's the density. Some women have a full bowl of very thin noodles. Others have fewer but thicker ones. Neither is better or worse, but they each need something different to look their best. If your hair is fine but full, you'll want products that are lightweight but give grip and lift, nothing too creamy or heavy. But if your hair is thick and coarse but thinning, you'll need more focus on fullness and coverage, maybe even a haircut or color that creates the illusion of density. Understanding this one difference can help you stop fighting your hair and start working with it. And honestly, that's the beginning of everything. Not forcing your hair to do what it won't, but learning what it needs to do what it can. 2. Finding the real cause of thinning hair. Let's talk about something a little deeper than just how our hair looks. Because when hair starts to thin, especially as we age, it's not just about appearance. It hits something more personal. It touches how we see ourselves, our femininity, our confidence. And if you've ever felt that, you're absolutely not alone. But here's the part that no one really tells you. Not all thinning is the same. And if you're trying random products or miracle oils from the internet without really knowing why your hair is thinning, you might be wasting your time, your energy, and your hope. There are a lot of reasons this could be happening. Hormonal changes during menopause, for one, are a huge factor. So are things like thyroid imbalances, medications like antidepressants or blood pressure pills, and yes, even stress. That everyday tension and anxiety is not just in your head. It can actually push your hair follicles into a resting phase, which causes shedding later on. And sometimes it's just genetics. If the women in your family started noticing thinning hair after a certain age, there's a chance you might see it too. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to guess. You don't have to sit there wondering if it's just age or if something deeper is going on. A visit to a good dermatologist or your regular doctor can give you real answers. A few simple blood tests, thyroid, iron, vitamin D, can bring you clarity. And with clarity comes peace. Once you know what's going on inside your body, you can finally start doing the things that actually help. Whether that's a supplement, a lifestyle change, or even just learning how to style your hair in a way that feels good again. You're not overreacting, and you're not vain for caring. You're a woman who wants to feel like herself again. Backhand index pointing right. Have you ever found out that your hair thinning was caused by something unexpected? If yes, Share it in the comments. Your story might help another woman reading this. 3. Why hair color can actually add volume. Let's be honest. The word color can feel a little intimidating, especially as we get older. Maybe you've avoided it because you're worried it'll damage your hair, or that it's too much maintenance, or maybe you've just told yourself, I'm past that stage. But what if I told you that adding just a little color might be the easiest way to make your hair look fuller, healthier, and more alive? Here's the secret. Dimension creates volume. When your hair is one solid color, especially if it's all gray or silver, it reflects light evenly. That might sound nice, but it can actually make your hair look flatter than it really is. There's no shadow, no contrast, no movement, just a smooth surface. But once you add highlights or lowlights, even just 1 or 2 shades lighter or darker than your natural tone, something beautiful happens. Your hair starts to catch the light in different ways. It moves. It looks deeper, fuller, like it has life in it again. And don't worry, we're not talking about loud, obvious streaks or monthly root touch-ups. Modern techniques like balayage, baby lights, or soft low lighting are subtle and soft. They grow out naturally and look beautiful for months, especially on gray, white, or silver hair. Many women go 5 or 6 months between touch-ups, and some just let it fade gently with time. This isn't about hiding your age. It's not about going back to anything. It's about using color intelligently to bring your natural hair to life. It's a tool, not a cover-up. I've seen women in their 60s and 70s walk into a salon convinced their hair couldn't look full again. And I've seen them walk out, after just a few subtle color adjustments, looking completely lit up. Not because the color changed who they were, but because it reminded them of who they still are. So if you've written off hair color, maybe it's time to revisit that idea. With the right stylist, the right technique, and the right approach, color can be a gentle, beautiful, and powerful part of your hair journey. No damage required. 4. Stop touching your hair. This might sound obvious, but it's surprising how often we do it without even realizing. You know that little habit of running your fingers through your hair, twirling a strand, or smoothing it down. It feels soothing, like a little comfort or a distraction during the day. But here's the catch. This habit is quietly killing your volume. Every time you touch your hair, you're transferring oils and grease from your hands onto the strands. That buildup weighs hair down, making it look flat and lifeless. Plus, constant touching causes breakage and split ends, especially if your hair is already thinning or fragile. Imagine your hair like a delicate fabric. The more you handle it roughly or too much, the more it loses its shape and bounce. So what's the alternative? Instead of running your hands through your hair, try carrying a small hand cream or light hairspray. When you feel the urge, dab a little cream on your hands or spritz some spray, then gently smooth over your hair without rubbing or squeezing. Or keep a comb or small brush in your purse for quick touch-ups that don't involve fingers. Remember this simple rule. Style it, then hands off. Once your hair is styled, try to keep your hands away as much as possible. It's one of the easiest ways to protect volume and keep your hair looking fresh all day. Trust me, it's a small change that can make a big difference, and it's easier to do than you think. Now listen, I know a lot of us grew up thinking conditioner is just something you slap all over your head, right? Especially right at the roots where your hair grows out of the scalp. But here's the honest truth. That's actually one of the biggest mistakes when you want to keep your hair looking full and healthy. Putting conditioner directly on your roots can make your hair heavy and flat. Can even make your scalp greasy faster, and nobody wants that. The roots need to stay light and airy because that's where your hair's natural volume comes from. Conditioner's real job is to take care of the dry, older parts of your hair, the midshaft down to the ends. These parts get damaged more easily, and they need that extra moisture to stay soft and avoid breakage. Here's a little trick that many people don't know about. After you apply conditioner, flip your head upside down to rinse it out. Literally bend forward so your hair is hanging down, and rinse the conditioner from the ends up toward your scalp. This helps keep your roots nice and light while still giving your ends the nourishment they need. Sounds simple, but it can make a huge difference in how your hair feels and looks. Your ends will feel softer and healthier, and your roots will stay lifted so your hair doesn't look flat or weighed down. Try this next time you wash your hair, and you might just fall in love with how much fuller your hair looks. Soft ends and lifted roots. That's the secret to giving your hair the care it deserves, especially as we get older. And hey, if you've been applying conditioner all wrong this whole time, don't worry. It's never too late to change. Your hair will thank you. Let's get real for a moment. Your hair type is not a flaw. It's just another beautiful part of who you are. Whether your hair is thick, thin, curly, straight, gray, or anything in between, it tells your unique story. And honestly, it's not about chasing your youth or trying to look like someone else. It's about honoring where you are right now, embracing your natural beauty, and feeling proud every time you look in the mirror. Stop fighting your hair. Instead, start understanding it. Learn what it needs, what makes it shine, and what brings out its best volume and health. When you treat your hair with kindness and care, it responds with softness, strength, and yes, even that bounce you thought was gone forever. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Many of us face the same struggles, but the good news is that your best hair days are still ahead. You just have to know the right steps and give yourself the patience and love you deserve. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget there's more to discover, like the best haircuts to add volume, which can totally change the way your hair feels and looks. Keep going, keep learning, and keep loving your hair as much as you deserve. If this helped you, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more tips made just for you. And share this with a friend who might need a little hair love too. We're all in this together. Remember, you're never alone, and your best hair days are still ahead. Let's keep growing stronger, healthier hair, one step at a time. Comment below if you've tried any of these tips or if you have your own hair stories to share. I'd love to hear from you.